Numbers 7 and 8 here are very similar to each other, so we're going to do them both here back to back. With this fraction that's here, I would get rid of that 5 first by taking and multiplying both sides of the equation, or this inequality I should say, by 5. So if I take 5 times negative 2/5, the 5's cancel and I just have negative 2x. And then it's still greater than or equal to, and then we take 5 times 3, which gives me 15. And then here's where a lot of people make an error. So when we want to divide both sides by negative 2 to get x by itself, when I multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip this sign. So I always circle it so I remember to flip it. So now on the left I just have x. And instead of greater than or equal to, it's going to flip around. It's going to be less than or equal to. And negative 15/2 we could write it as, or negative 7.5 would be fine also. So that's what's going to go in here. And once we have that, it might be easier to put negative 7.5 for this part here. We need to figure out how to graph that. So notice that the x is on the left-hand side. Try to always get your variable on that left-hand side because it makes it easier when you're doing the graph. And if it's telling you it's wrong, it might be because you have these flipped around. You don't want the x on that left side. So it's got the equal to on here. When it has that equal to on it, it's going to be a closed circle. So we're going to have a closed circle at negative 7.5. Be careful that you're going between negative 7 and negative 8. Closed circle should go there. And then notice this arrow here. It's pointing that direction. We're talking less than. Less than on the number line would go this way. So it should look like this with that closed circle. So when you're choosing one of these, this would be the one that you would choose. And you would just put your dot right at negative 7.5 and you're good. If you put it in the wrong spot, you can grab it and drag it around. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and look at number 8. So number 8 doesn't have a fraction, so we don't have to worry about that part. I'm just going to rewrite it over here. And we want to get the x by itself. So I am going to start by taking 77 and subtracting that 59 over. So let's subtract 59 from both sides. So on this side I've got 18 is less than negative x. And then I want to get x by itself. And you might go, okay, I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides, or you could think, okay, I'm going to multiply by negative 1 on both sides. Either way, you get the same answer. Most people say divide, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by a negative again. If I divide by a negative, I have to flip this. So 18 over negative 1 would give me negative 18. Instead of less than, it's going to be greater than, and this then will just be x. Now, if you type that in here, I'm not sure if it'll tell you if it's right or wrong, but I always like to put that x on the left-hand side. Notice the alligator doesn't want the x. The alligator's opened up to that negative 18. When I rewrite this, I want the same thing to be true. So I'm going to put x on this side, negative 18 on this side, just because I always put x on the left. The alligator is going to want that negative 18, just like it did here. So that's what we should have. And notice how it does not have the equal to. So we should have an open circle at negative 18. So negative 18, open circle. And then if we look which way it's pointing, it's less than, so it should be going this direction. So when I'm choosing which one to use here, I would be choosing this one here. And you just put that dot at negative 18.